What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the second channel, Swany Rants. Now, I know it's been a very long time since I've uploaded on this channel, but hopefully that's changing going forward, starting with this video. Now, this channel is going to be way different than my main channel. My main channel is going to focus on video games and like tips and tricks and news updates and stuff for whatever game I'm playing. And then this channel, I'm going to make it just whatever I want it to be about. I'm going to talk about like movie reviews and TV show reviews. If there's ever any drama I just want to rant about, or just anything that I just want to complain about, I'm basically going to do it here. A channel that I get a lot of inspiration from is Moist Critical or Penguin Zero or whatever you want to call him. I just call him Charlie. If you guys know who I'm talking about, he basically just does whatever he wants on his YouTube channel. And that's kind of the dream, is to just sit down and record about whatever I want to talk about and just engage with you guys as an audience. And I don't know, we'll see how it goes. But for this video, I want to talk about Andor. I just watched the first 3 episodes, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on these episodes. Now, I'm sure this channel is going to evolve. I'm going to incorporate my camera in some way. I want to like have my nerd shelf in the background and just interact with you guys that way, so I'll get around to that eventually. But there's going to be a lot of just random gameplay in these videos to just give you guys something in the background to look at and to watch. Okay, so getting into my thoughts on Andor. Now, when the show was originally announced, I had absolutely zero expectations. I thought for sure this show was going to bomb. I didn't think very many people were interested in this era, because they've sort of done the rebellion just into the ground at this point. They don't really branch out that far when it comes to Star Wars. They just solely focus on like the original trilogy stuff. And we learned a lot about the rebellion in Star Wars Rebels and some of the spin-off video games and stuff. But this focuses on the rebellion, or the start of the rebellion before Rogue One. And I had zero expectations. Like, out of all the Star Wars shows, this was my least anticipated out of all of them, because it was competing with Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And here we are after the first 3 episodes, and I feel like Andor is already at a better pace and a better start than Obi-Wan and Boba Fett. I didn't really like the Boba Fett show that much, because I was afraid that they were going to damage his character, and they kind of did. Like, I just wasn't a big fan of Boba Fett. And same thing with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I had a lot of issues with the Kenobi show. Like, the Kenobi show wasn't awful, but I wasn't in love with the show, and I felt like they damaged some of the characters with the Kenobi show. But I gotta say, with Andor, these first 3 episodes are actually kind of good. It definitely caught me off guard. Pacing is really slow, and I feel like that's a good thing. This show doesn't feel like a Star Wars show. When it comes to everything else in the Star Wars universe, with all these spin-off TV shows and the sequel trilogy, it feels like with all the other shows and movies, they're constantly trying to do fan service, and they're trying to just nostalgia bait everybody. It feels like they're just forcing nostalgia down everyone's throat. And it feels like with everything Star Wars related, they don't want to do anything original. They're too afraid of taking risks. They want to show the audience things that they're already familiar with, and that's it. They want to play it safe. But when it comes to Andor, there's like zero fan service. They do not care. This isn't a show about, you know, Star Wars front and center. Like, here's everything you're used to. Here's lightsabers. Here's callbacks to the original trilogy. Here's cameos. That's not what they're doing. This is a show that is about the characters that just so happens to be in the Star Wars universe. And I feel like that's the direction that they need to go going forward with Star Wars. This show is definitely made for adults and not for kids. When you compare it to episodes 7, 8, and 9, it's like they focused on the kids first and the adults second. And when you appeal to the kids, I feel like that hurts the overall story. They don't want it to be dark. They don't want it to be nitty and gritty. They don't want it to be too serious. They just want to sell toys. But with Andor, there is none of that. It's just a show about these characters. These first 3 episodes definitely take their time. This is a show where if you have your kids watching it, they're definitely going to be bored. They just want to see action and adventure and Jedi stuff and lightsabers and funny jokes. This show takes itself seriously. It's definitely targeted to an adult audience where you have to sit there and actually pay attention to what's going on screen. And I feel like that's a breath of fresh air. We definitely needed this. They needed to do something to change the Star Wars formula, to make it feel more like Star Wars. The same issue is kind of going on with the MCU right now. Like, I'm not that into the MCU because they're all about cracking jokes and they're not taking themselves seriously anymore. I like the MCU when it took itself seriously. And same goes for Star Wars. When Star Wars isn't taking itself seriously, I sort of lose interest. I feel like there's no stakes because everyone's cracking jokes every 2 seconds, or they're in the middle of a fight and they stop and they crack a joke, or they just don't feel like the scenarios that they're in are like that life-threatening. I never felt like there was any sense of danger with the sequel trilogy. But I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised with this show. Maybe it's because I went in with no expectations, or I went in not knowing much about this character, so it's kind of hard for them to screw up the character that I don't know much about. But I can definitely tell from the way that this show is shot and directed that I like this way better than Boba Fett and the Obi-Wan Kenobi show at this point, based off of the first 3 episodes. I hope to keep this up going forward, and I want to see more adult Star Wars. I want to see more Star Wars taking itself seriously. I want to see the behind the scenes of the Empire, how evil they are. I want to see the politics behind it. I want to see the Senate and like the birth of the rebellion. I'm actually kind of excited to see this stuff now. I went from being not excited at all. I mean, at all. Like I had no expectations for Andor, and I was on the fence about even watching this show to begin with because I just had zero interest. But I gotta say, after these first 3 episodes, I'm very intrigued. And I'd say based off these 3 episodes, I'd probably give it like a solid, maybe an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Like, I really enjoyed it. I like that they switched it up and they're showing us something different that we're not used to seeing from the Star Wars universe. I was kind of getting some like Game of Thrones or like Breaking Bad kind of vibes with how serious the tone felt when I was watching this show. And I feel like if they keep pandering to the adults and not the kids, that's going to get people reinvested in Star Wars. Because if you make Star Wars for the kids, you're going to lose a lot of the adult audience. But if you make Star Wars for the adults, the kids will eventually grow up to become the adult audience. It's definitely going to benefit the franchise a lot more if they keep this serious tone going forward. But those are my thoughts on Andor so far. I didn't really go into the specifics of the episodes or go into any spoilers for anything. But to be honest, not too much even really happened in the first 3 episodes for me to spoil. But either way, this is my spoiler-free thoughts on the first 3 episodes. I definitely recommend that if you're on the fence, I would check it out. It 100% has my seal of approval, and I can't wait to see next week's episode. But that is going to do it for this video, everyone. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. If you guys are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. Let me know what you guys would like to see me cover on this second channel. If you guys ever have any drama you want me to cover, or any sort of video topics, or just general ideas about the direction of this channel, let me know down in the comments. And that is going to do it for me, everyone, and I will talk to you all next time.